I am Campson the Untamed Oracle, and this is going to be a collective reading. I'm a Akashic Record reader. I am intuitive, have all of the clairs, and I've been doing this for a long time. So if you're new, welcome. If you already know who I am, welcome back. Let's just get straight into the reading. We're going to read these cards intuitively. Open your heart and receive. Don't put any limitations on what can come through, and trust that whatever message is for you will be received. Okay, that's strange. Why do I smell popcorn coming into the reading? I don't know, either somebody cooking popcorn, eating popcorn, grew up and had a granddaddy or somebody who's always make popcorn. You know, back in the day, they didn't have microwave popcorn. They had to pop the popcorn on the stove, and it just smelled so good. They put the butter all over it. Just, it was good. That was before we knew corn had some corny shit going on with it, and some of us have stopped eating it. But maybe this is the good old days. Maybe you've been thinking about reminiscing about the good old days, but I smell popcorn. Or maybe your life is like a movie right about now. All right, Spirit, guide me through this reading. Ashe, ashe, ashe. It's you. Past life. Lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli represents your past life. What's up with that? Okay. What's up with that? What is going on with your past life? Have you been wanting to do some past life work maybe? Have you been curious about that? Is something going on in your life right now and you're like, just out the blue, like, I wonder, is this connected to a past life? Like, am I cursed or something? Like, what? Is it a curse? Is it a curse because certain things that just happen, it's just out of the ordinary at this point, and I'm noticing a pattern. Okay, you had a lot of shit going on in your past life. You did. In this lifetime, though, the good news is you came in this lifetime to capitalize on everything that you failed to learn in past life. So if your life has been like a lot of things happening throughout your lifetime here on earth, and if you resonate with me, most likely you've been through some shit. Okay, you've had some rough times. You've been stuck in between a rock and a hard place. You've been at the rock bottom before. You've been in the ashes. But every phoenix has to start with ashes, okay? So trust and believe that whatever you've been going through, no matter how much of a movie your life looks like, you are the phoenix rising from the ashes. But it's something that you must do. And what you must do is ground. This is hematite. This represents grounding, okay? I need you to get grounded. You've been in your head a lot lately. You've been like you've been overthinking. Honestly, you've been overthinking. Trying to plan for everything, not wanting anything to come into your life and throw you off, not wanting any surprises. Like, I get it. All surprises ain't good surprises. Some surprises you don't want. But I dreamed about this last night, actually. But I dreamed that I was sitting and talking with a group of people, and I was talking about the power of being able to trust the process and not have to be prepared for every corner and what's around that corner, and just trust that when you get around that corner, everything will work out. It's relief that you feel just in that. And so you haven't fixed anything. You haven't been able to predict what's going to happen next. However, the level of groundedness that you have with spirit, it helps you to trust that no matter what corner I walk around, I'm going to be able to handle it. You know, I have been blessed with so much wisdom. I'm going to be able to handle it. Yes, I have had things that I did not expect. I have had things happen that I may even be grieving right now. You know, I've lost friendships. Things are changing in my life with more awareness. I wanted this awareness. I wanted my third eye to be open. She was like, man, your third eye just been kissed. I was like, hell yeah. Fuck this 3D matrix shit. I want to be able to see shit for as it is. And now I done spent a few months or years seeing things as they are, and it's a little uncomfortable. And so my coping mechanism is for me to be a perfectionist and try to plan for everything, strategize for everything, be prepared for every rainy day. But I'm looking at my finances, I'm looking at my resources, I'm looking at my support system, and I see some lack. You know, it's some lack in there. I see that. But I want to tell you that by grounding yourself, you'll be able to also see the other half of the glass that's half full. Okay. And so a lot of this is connected to a past life, because in a past life, Yes, in the past life, you have experienced past life plagues. You have experienced past life, like past life hunger, like where the crops stopped yielding and people were dying of starvation. Like you have experienced some of the toughest things to experience on earth school. So in this lifetime, sometimes that shows up as you trying to be prepared for everything, as you trying to make sure you never run out of food. Maybe even like with this SNAP EBT thing that's been going on here at the end of 2025 in the last trimester. I talked about this and I was like, this is the loosh. The loosh needs to feed off of fear. And what am I gonna do? And how are we gonna survive? And how are we gonna make it? Like the chaos creators, they eat chaos. They eat the emotions that chaos creates, right? But you get to choose what to do with these energies, and it's human nature to fear something, to fear change, to fear what you can't control. But it's not benefiting you right now. So I want you to intentionally, like right now, like take a deep breath and be like, you know what? I'm fully present. I'm in my body. I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for Mama Earth beneath my feet supporting me, hold me, ground me throughout this process. I am in the eye of the storm. Yes, a storm is happening, but my position is in the eye of the storm. I am looking at things through my third eye. I'm looking for the half of the glass that is full. I don't have to pay attention to the part that's empty anymore. I can focus on the fullness. I can choose to focus on the abundance. I can choose to focus on the things in my life that I'm proud of. Even if I can't think of one thing and I can think of 10 things that I'm not proud of, I'm going to make sure that I think about that one thing over and over again. All throughout the day, I'll go back to that one thing. And whenever my mind shifts to something negative, I'll go back to, you know what, but I am grateful for that one thing. But I just keep going back to it. It's kind of like having an argument with somebody. And it's like they keep trying to take you in another direction. But like when you keep going back to the same thing and you're like, no, I'm not moving off my square. Okay, all right, heard you out. Yeah. And back to as I was saying before, it's important for us to be compassionate and patient with one another. Well, yeah. Okay, I got you. Thank you for sharing that with me. It's important for us to be grateful for being compassionate. And I'm grateful for that in this moment. Like, just keep reverting the conversation back to um, a lot of times we'll do that with people, but we won't do it with our own negative inner dialogue. So that will help to ground you. Okay? Do that. All right, Isis. What message do you have for the collective? Sometimes we want an answer that's not simple. Because on a subconscious level, if the ego is not ready and you haven't practiced embodying your higher divine thoughts enough, the ego likes to go into thoughts that are familiar, right? Even if they're negative, they're familiar, so they feel safe to our ego. So the ego keep thinking negative shit, as you're wanting to change your life. And so you have to reprogram your ego by reprogramming the neurology of your mind, by creating new patterns and create new patterns through repetition. And you have repetition and you know the reason for the repetition. And when you know the reason for the repetition, you can create your reality, right? So everything has a rhyme and a reason. Everything has a connection. And so if you always make a positive connection or something to be grateful for behind the negative, it's kind of like taking nasty medicine, but then you throw, a orange in your mouth or something, and then get rid of the flavor. It's like doing that, but doing it with your own inner dialogue. And the more you do that, as simple as it sounds, you'll feel relief in your nervous system. You'll be like, whew, at least I got that one thing to be grateful for to fall back on. Like, that's your life jacket. All right, put your life jacket on. It's a storm. Yeah, but you can put your life jacket on. You can choose to or not to. It's up to you. Because you're just being tested. It's just a little test. Okay. I ain't did that in a minute. I don't know where the noises be coming from. Um, yes, yes. So this represents the rising sun, okay? And you can see that the baby, right, is suckling at Isis' breast, and she's green right here. So this is like heart chakra energy, right? The heart chakra is trying to emanate a new consciousness, but your ego is so stuck on seeing things one way, it's kind of creating resistance. So you're in a struggle, you're in a power struggle between your heart and your ego. You literally have to let the ego know we're safe. We're safe. It might not look like it, but we're safe. Okay. And so this card says a dark phase and struggle is over. A new phase is upon you, one of hope, glory, light, and triumph. It is won through boldness and persistence. You have been through much, and now victory is upon you, beloved, for the divine solar child. A new consciousness within you is born. So this is what's happening. This is what's happening. So the language has been, we're not safe, and I need to do all of these things to try to create some safety. I'm not safe. I got to try to do this and figure this out and figure that problem out and keep this person happy and make sure this person not mad at me and make sure that this is going on with the kids. And you're trying to do so many things to make sure everybody is good and okay. But your self check-ins is kind of lacking. So checking in with yourself and actually following through. Checking in with your heart, and actually like listening, like how you feeling? How you feeling? How you feel about how I've been showing up? How do you feel about how I handled that disagreement? How you feel about how I handled when I got triggered? You know, and let your heart be, your heart to just express this new consciousness and like I feel like you did pretty good. You did better than you did before, but I also feel like you could do even more, right? And so the heart is the door to the upper chakras. It's how you get from being so focused in the root chakra that you're not able to get into the upper chakras. So the heart is going to help you to do that. And so just having that conversation, going back to what I'm saying, if you work with archetypes, think of this period of your life to where you have become so familiar with struggle that anything other than struggle is suspicious to you. You don't trust it. So just start with 5 minutes and be like, okay, for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to trust the process. For the next 5 minutes, I'm not allowed to think anything negative. I'm not allowed to talk down on myself. I'm not allowed to be hard on myself for the next 5 minutes. Like, I'm just gonna trust the process. I'm gonna be grateful, and I'm gonna observe from a higher perspective just for the next 5 minutes. Okay, that did happen, but maybe it happened for a good reason. I'm gonna spend the next 5 minutes just staying with that. Like, no, but everything is working out for me, even when it don't look like it is still working out for me. For the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna love on myself. For the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna tell myself it's okay. It's okay to even not be okay. Like, it's okay. Your feelings are valid. I'm not gonna run from them. I'm not gonna try to numb them out. Like, it's okay. Yes, that hurt your feelings, or yes, that really upset you. It's okay. Yeah, you felt betrayed. It's okay. You don't want to forgive them. Okay, all right, that's okay too. Like, just make sure it ain't hurting you. You know what I'm saying? But if it's hurting you, then we know what we need to do. Just have this conversation. Talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. Be your own counsel. Be your own wise counsel. Because that's what you're healing from past lives. Everything that you learned in the past life was to give you wisdom to be wise counsel to yourself in this life. So even though in the past life you may not have completed a particular soul mission or you may have died before manifesting something or overcoming something. Those lessons got passed on to this lifetime, so it didn't go to waste. So the more that you are acting as wise counsel with yourself, you're taking on the role as Isis, the archetypal mother, the mother of she is like the mother of 1,000 names. She's in every pantheon, every spiritual pantheon practice. The mother principle. This is that feminine principle. Isis mythologically is known for being a healer, you know, so be your own healer right now. Nourish yourself. Nourish yourself at the breast of spirit. If you don't have a spiritual practice, let's just say maybe you came through church and you went through an awakening, and since then you kind of haven't really replaced it with anything. So let this be a part of your practice, and like be devoted and do it every day. At least 5 minutes talking to yourself this way, thinking of a reason to be grateful. I have to do this, and because I'm someone who has been diagnosed with depression, you know, I have to keep an eye on my thoughts and allow myself to feel my feelings, but not allow myself to linger there longer than I need to, right? And so, you know, just know that when you go through a period of struggle, the nervous system is so used to that maybe it's still feeling wired. This is why I have the somatic exorcism, and I show you ways to stretch certain parts of your body to release tension. That helps to reprogram the nervous system, because you can't really force the nervous system to let go of struggle. You have to actually allow that energy to be in motion and move through you. Okay, so you can join the coven, or you could just search for somatic exercises and follow through with those. But in the coven, I teach you this, but I teach you archetypal work, embodiment work, and rituals and ceremonies that you can do as well. And I feel like, you know, I feel like as you are changing, um, some people really don't know how to be around you. People might start to be around you less, or kind of pull away, or reach out to you less, or you may reach out like they always doing something to biz and need to talk back with you later. Like if that start happening, don't try to force it. Just let it be what it is. You know, let it be what it is. You want to train your nervous system to be okay with change, to be okay with change in your relationship dynamics with people. You know, change your nervous system to let your nervous system know, like, that's okay. That's fine. That's okay. Yeah, it's all right. That's all right. So I pulled the Five of Cups, and I kind of it came out reverse. So I feel like either you have already noticed that you're grieving something and you're ready to get past it, or you've been avoiding grieving something. So whichever one it is, what did you lose? Is it a version of you? Is it a version of your life, something that you wanted? Something that you hoped would work out or go another way other than the way that it went? What is it? What is it that sometimes have you feeling heavy-hearted? What is it that comes up sometimes and it hurts, or you kind of feel bad about it? Do you have any regrets? Like what's coming up for you? Like, I want you to investigate this Five of Cups. Investigate what you might be mourning, because that's such a normal process. And a lot of times before we went through this awakening, we looked at mourning to be something that only happens when someone physically dies that we love. But we really didn't think that parts of our self would die, parts of our beliefs would die. The version of us we thought we really weren't. We thought we were more healed than we really are. We're having to go back and heal some old wounds. And sometimes you have to grieve the old you. This is why I created a false self funeral, because I was talking to the old me, and and she was sad and grieving, and like, you don't think like me anymore. You're not doing the things you used to do. You don't hang out with people you used to hang out with anymore. Like, it's kind of lonely over here. And I had to, like, allow the old version of me and all of the things that was part of her life, even the things that I eat. I don't even eat in those things anymore. Like, I had to mourn that. I had to mourn not being able to stop at any fast food place and get quick, easy food. I had to mourn that, because when I go places now, I have to make sure that I take something with me to eat, because I don't eat fast food. I really don't eat at restaurants every blue moon. So, if I get hungry and I'm stuck in rush hour traffic, I just don't have nothing to eat. And that feels horrible. I get lightheaded and stuff like that. So I have to now make snacks and make sure that I take the time out to make sure that I have something. So I have to mourn the previous accommodations that I don't have anymore. And that came with my third eye opening and becoming more aware and learning the connection between certain foods and the way it interacted with my mind, body, soul. And so this is what I mean by this. So maybe it is good for you to grieve the old you, or grieve the way relationships and friendships used to be and used to feel. Grieve the way the world used to look to you. And now, it might not be looking as good as it used to. You might be missing the old days. That go back to me smelling the popcorn in the beginning. That's okay. Actually process it, though. Sit down and process it. I have a false self funeral. So sometimes, like, we're grieving like that version of us we thought we was, right? And just be able to use affirmations. It's like a revocation. And so, like, you're revoking the negativity around this old version of you. You're making sure that this old version of you knows it is respected, and you're giving ceremony to release this old version of you peacefully. That's on my Patreon. I'll make sure I put that link in the description. I think it's on the free tier, but I know for sure it's on the $1 tier. You're gonna have to scroll back through my post, but the false self funeral is there. So just scroll back and keep scrolling. I don't know if they have a searchlight function or not on there on y'all end, but you could do that, okay? But yeah, so I pulled that. And don't be afraid to grieve, don't be afraid to grieve. I know a lot of us feel like we don't have time to grieve. It's just like, damn, I barely have time to do anything, I don't have time to be grieving. It's too much going on in my life. Make time for it. Even if it's just 5 minutes, make time for it. Journal, write about it. How do you feel? If you don't go to the Patreon and get the false self funeral, because it's deep. Like, I went deep. But how do you feel? You can also just journal about it, and I feel like the version of me I thought I was, or like with chronic illness and chronic fatigue, it's like it's a lot of things that I can't do anymore without having to really pay for it. Like, one activity for a couple of hours might take me 2 days of recovery and naps and a lot of self-care just to get back to my baseline. And so, yeah, sometimes I feel sad about that. But I allow myself to feel that, and I hold myself and meet myself with compassion in those moments. Not all the time, because sometimes I be like, girl, you just need to get up and do what you need to do. Da da da. You'll figure out it later. And that be my ego. And I thank my ego. My ego is the reason why I get up out of bed most days. But there are times where I need to make sure that I'm in the driver's seat, And it's like, no, right now I need to take care of myself, right? I don't need to be going. With the holidays coming up, maybe some of us, for whatever reason, it could be a different reason. We're just not wanting to be around a lot of people right now. We kind of rather spend it in solitude. Maybe we've been put in situations where we're just not around a lot of people. Certain things have happened, and we've made a decision that some things just wasn't serving our highest purpose to be in our life like that anymore. And so maybe you're the one that pulled away. But whichever it is, as long as it's in the highest service to yourself, yeah, that's what you need to be doing. So the self-care card for this collective reading is mindfulness. Look at that. And she is definitely by herself, enjoying herself. Mindfulness helps to slow down and engage with the present moment. It brings attention to bodily sensations such as breathing and flow of energy within the body or sounds around us. It teaches us how to respond to stresses with awareness. Awareness leads to adaptive reactions to stressful situations. Awareness of our emotions supports us to open up and accept it. It also pre-trains our frequency for better experiences to come into our existence. Everything I just said. Everything I just said, Like, trust this process, open up, accept what is, be grateful in the present moment, and grounding yourself, breathing, and just the sounds, and like, okay, what sounds I hear? Like coming back into your body, coming out of your mind, getting grounded, right? And just checking in with yourself. A self-care practice could be work on your bodily awareness and ability to notice subtle sensations. Being aware of your internal emotions and dialogue will help you to better control and regulate those emotions. Count 4 colors you see, 4 things you can touch. What do they look like? How do they feel to touch them? You can count 4 things you hear and 4 things you smell. Experience them. This will bring you closer to the moment and increase awareness. So some questions that you could ask yourself are, am I present in my actions? And what do I notice around me? Now, as simple as this may sound, this is really helpful because for a lot of us who dealt with different types of trauma, trauma changes brain development. I think a lot of us have complex PTSD. I know for sure that I had that. I went and got tested, and I did the CPTSD quiz that you could take. It's just a self-assessment on the website that's available in the Turn Pain into Purpose course. If you already have the course and you ain't been in a while, log in and go to it. But being able to drop down in the body using sensations, it helps to ground you in the present moment. It helps to keep your mind from wandering far off in the future, aka anxiety, or wandering far off in the past, aka depression and regrets, right? And so when we wander off too far in either direction, we're not fully with the present moment. And so the I divine self only speaks to you in the present moment. It can't speak to you when you're too far in the future, too far in the past. Okay. So using your body to get present, getting in your body, even doing the stretches, the somatic exercises, those help a lot. It sounds simple. It sounds like that ain't gonna do nothing, but I'm telling you, if you do this and like you do this every day, as long as you possibly can, it gets easier and easier to do it every day that you do it. And it also, the benefits accumulate day by day. And so I meet areas of my body from day to day that had tension in it, and I had no idea until I started like really getting into my body. And I'm like, whoa, like, oh, right shoulder. I didn't know you was feeling like that, like neck. Whoa, like, oh, wait. And I didn't know it was that tight. Like, my bad. Let me give you some love. Motion is lotion. Let me moisturize you. Do some neck rolls and appreciate you. Thank you for holding my head up. Literally, thank you. Just getting into the body. That is so spiritual. It's very tantric. It's somatic. It grounds you in the present moment, and it stops the amygdala, the part of the brain in the back that's like over firing neurons because of fear, and you've always been like waiting for the shoe to drop because one thing happens after the other. Like, what if you could shift yourself, your mind, body, spirit into a place where things will happen further apart and you will have more reset time in between life delivering challenges to you? Like, what if that's possible just by you doing these things, right? And so you can think about them like, you know what, I'm gonna be devoted to do this every day. Yeah, let's see what's possible. And if you just start with 5 minutes, you won't get overwhelmed and the ego won't start trying to back out. Because the ego is a genius. Our ego is a genius. Okay, nothing dumb about the ego. But the ego would do its best. I pulled this before. I pulled this a few weeks ago. Arthur of Colley. Arthur of Colley. I pulled this a few weeks ago. I want to say it was 2 weeks ago when I pulled this. That's really interesting how that came up again. So that made me feel like it's good that you're backtracking on some things, because you're like checking your seeds and checking your soil, and like when you go and check your plants, you're kind of backtracking and like, let me see, you need a little water, you need some more sun, what you need, backtracking and checking on yourself. But it says, her heart contains the seeds of your soul and complete awareness of the divine destiny she has always intended for you. There is a sacred purpose for which you were born and a meaningful, divinely protected pathway for you to fulfill it. Only you can decide to put your faith and commitment into that path and to take one step at a time in honoring what has value to your heart, tuning into her loving plan. In taking those steps, the pathway will reveal itself, and you shall attract great blessings that will benefit all beings. When the heart is ready, a compelling question arises: for what purpose was I born? The sacred feminine within the heart knows how to grow and evolve organically and instinctively. There's a sacred masculine within the heart, too. It yearns to manifest meaningful truth, to protect that which is worthy, and to dedicate our efforts towards a clear purpose. It provides for our loved ones and creates a safe place within where the feminine values of love and connection can thrive. As that masculine energy grows and evolves within the soul, it expresses a desire to accomplish these aims for a broader community and higher purpose. Arthur, in that sense, is the search for meaning, for a higher purpose, for the methods of creative expression and spiritual exploration that give our lives clear direction and emotional fulfillment. In our intellectually driven society, we prefer to know the destination first and then become somewhat willing to trust we are making progress, provided we feel in control or where we are going. However, the truth of the manifestation of life purpose is somewhat different. The often painful first step is to give up our stranglehold on how, when, where, who, and what. Only then can we drop into an instinctive, more intuitive way, which is guided from the feminine wisdom within. Then we will truly be making spiritual progress toward manifestation and fulfillment on every level. At these times, the rational mind is struck by the notion that it has no idea what, if anything, is happening. This is when the inner masculine needs to trust the inner feminine. There may be some healing work required for that trust to be generated. Such healing can ask you to have the courage and wisdom to move beyond the intellectual assessment of what you think you should be doing and your self-created ideas about what evidence of success you should have manifested by now. You will need to shift from assessing your self-healing journey. You will be asked to allow yourself to grow into the path you are seeking. The acorn doesn't appear like an oak tree, but it knows how to become one. You will have to trust in the innate intelligence of your own healing process and soul knowing. Only then can you be sure you will not miss your purpose, nor attempt to climb mountains not meant for you, and that cannot bring you benefit, happiness, or peace. Arthur, however, is not only about purpose. It is also about the capacity to accomplish our task and the means necessary to do so. The universe provides all such means, from emotional learning to financial support. To be able to relax and receive such generous grace, we must be on our authentic path and may also need to resolve painful experiences that have taught us to distrust. Many people have a complex set of beliefs about emotional and material support. These are largely inherited, often not particularly functional, and yet adopted without reflection. We can struggle to realize that we can choose whether to hold on to those beliefs or let them go in favor of a different, perhaps more generous, kind, and favorable viewpoint. The oracle asks you to consider that your beliefs are not a reflection of an inviolable reality, but an expression of the best way you could deal with your past. You owe no allegiance to a belief system. It either supports you or it does not. To allow yourself to be supported brings benefits to all beings. Give yourself permission to do the inner work necessary to open your mind to a more beautiful belief system. As Kali is rebirthing energy, it is time to dispense with the past, especially if there have been wounds around a lack of security. The oracle guides you to open your heart and mind to the reality of the material means necessary for your continued development being provided. Even if you've struggled in the past, Arthur of Kali brings assurance that you are capable of genuine material and spiritual prosperity. You can manifest that which has real meaning to you, to your heart. You are forging your own authentic path that will bring you fulfillment on all levels and bring positive spiritual repercussions for all beings too. If you have reached a block or a dead end on the path, trust that you have the strength to overcome it. It may not be through attempting to force something to happen in the material world, so much as working on reframing your beliefs and approach so they are in complete alignment with your inner values. That takes incredible strength and trust in yourself. Going through that process creates spiritual integrity and alignment. Even the greatest willpower to make things happen will fall short of what is necessary to manifest your most sacred fulfillment without such inner spiritual integrity. Trust that the process of your sacred success is being fulfilled through every single challenge and blessing. That's beautiful. That literally summed up the whole reading. Like, all right, peace out. There's nothing else I need to do. Kali came in and summed it up for you. This is this week's reading. Like, she came in and like served us up, cooked it up, and made sure that we ate it up. So this is the invocation. This is like a prayer to call this consciousness into your life so that you're not just watching my reading and hearing me, but like it actually like resonates inside the soul, and throughout the rest of the week or the day or whatever, this will be available because it's in your auric field, because you are summoning it by opening your heart and receiving the wisdom. It says, beloved Kaliman, I call upon your divine feminine wisdom and the divine masculine power that arises to protect it with discernment, strength, and courage. I ask for your assistance in all ways, including your blessings of spiritual and material prosperity. May I move beyond my conditioning into unobstructed authenticity and spiritual integrity to joyfully and graciously manifest my true purpose, bringing spiritual benefit to all beings. Jama Kali. And these words, though you just heard me say them, they created an energy field if you are open to receive it. And now you can just visualize all the concerns that you have, no matter how big or how small. Know that those concerns have been received and that the answers are unfolding in grace. And it's not going to require your sacrifice. It's just going to require you to be present, be open to receive, and trust yourself through this process. Trust these levels of consciousness. These are archetypal energies that represent consciousness. And so you can imagine your words like swirling as you speak, and you say, I trust the process. I'm learning to trust myself. And those words are swirling in the air and dissolving into the vast black presence of space. Out of that presence, a strong masculine energy rises like a gleaming silver sword. This energy is protective and powerful. This is your inner sovereignty. To decide, to choose, to cast aside, to protect and respect, and is the power of determination and focused commitment. Recognize this as part of who you are. The silver sword, you can imagine you holding it in your hand, okay? And just feel the strength of this silver flaming sword. Then allow it to dissolve into your soul as gleaming silver light. And you can finish with your hands at prayer. Now, the interesting thing about this is one day, I had a dream about me with a sword in my hand, and the sword was on fire. And I woke up thinking to myself, what did that mean? But when you think about a sword, a couple of things. You think about protection, protector energy, divine masculine energy, you could also say, because it has its protective elements, right? But it was flaming, it was on fire, and like I was holding it like I knew what I was doing. And I was like, but the sword also represents the power of my words and learning how to speak in ways that protect me instead of make me vulnerable to strife and struggle. And like check in with your language. How am I speaking inside of myself? How am I speaking about myself, right? And so that sword, that energy, that silver energy that's inside of you, silver also resonates with the moon, and the moon resonates with the feminine. So this is the sacred feminine and masculine coming together to give you this strength. And for a lot of us who are women, we have used our masculine to the point of toxicity. And a lot of us are good with using the toxic masculine energy, right? We're good at willpower and pushing through no matter how hard it is. But leaning into the feminine and trusting that things will just unfold, being able to trust the process, that's a different story. It's like, okay, I don't trust rest. Rest feels suspicious to me. And then you end up burning yourself out. And so just being able to trust your rest, being able to trust that you are not alone. You came here you have spiritual parents. These are archetypal energies of consciousness that usually can be found associated with your natal chart, or with your human design, which is basically the same thing. You could use numerology to see who your spiritual parents are. I teach that in the Turn Pain into Purpose course and on Patreon as well. But these are things that you can do to connect and read about these stories and the things that they went through and experienced. And a lot of times that message is really specific to you. And so you'll be surprised at messages that you can get, like reading and studying these archetypal energies known as gods and goddesses, deities, netters, netterus, orishas, like whatever name you want to use. Every spiritual system had some type of higher entity that was used as a blueprint or format for navigating life. And the beauty of it is, you are free now to choose anything, to study anything. And that's when you really can learn, because you're not in a judgmental way closing down wisdom that could flow to you through avenues you didn't even expect. So, let this journey be interesting. Let it be fun. This was a beautiful reading. I'm going to put all of the links in the description. If you want to book a one-on-one, you can go to my website, untamedSouls.com. And if you want to join the membership on the Coven, I'm uploading a new video this week. And this new video is the Kali Lilith Truth Spell. And I teach you how to combine those two archetypes to do shadow work, so that certain truths that maybe you have not been ready to see, or things that hid themselves from you, can be revealed to you, like in a loving, compassionate way, maybe even slowly drip in for you. Because sometimes we can ask for the truth and it just like hit us, and you just like, I wasn't ready, like you like it knocked the breath out of you, like I wasn't ready for that. But you can call that truth in, like compassionately, and reprogram your subconscious mind. Use your hypnagogic state right before you fall asleep to get the mind in receptive mode to receive this truth. I teach you how to use water and the memory that water holds to help you with that. And so that new video will be uploaded this week. But yeah, it's phenomenal over there. Like, if you're not over there, what you waiting for? Like, get over there. You can always cancel, But like I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for you. I'm grateful for the people that have trusted themselves enough to trust me and to tune in to some of the links that I put in the description and follow through. Yeah, that was it. That's this week's reading. All right, y'all. Peace. Oh, don't forget to comment. Let me know, like, how did this reading feel? What came through for you? I'm nosy as hell, but it's also because I care, but I really want to know. Let's talk. Y'all know y'all ain't really got nobody around y'all to have these conversations with anyway, so we might as well have conversations in the comments. Or you can join the covenant and we can have like even deeper conversations over there. All right, y'all. Peace.
Yeah. Higher, I take you higher. Higher. Yeah. Yeah. I got this sacred